Welcome to the Truman Charities podcast. I am Jamie Truman, your host. Imagine experiencing Gettysburg historic Civil War battlefields alongside adaptive athletes who have served our country. You'll hear their stories, honor their sacrifices, and gain a profound understanding of how fortunate we are to be Americans. Mike Beezley and his team are joining the Face of America Cycling Challenge through World T.E.A.M, a nonprofit that creates inspiring athletic challenges for adaptive and able-bodied participants alike. These programs empower individuals, building confidence as each athlete overcomes physical, emotional, and technical obstacles. Mike has participated in Face of America for 6 years and has the most incredible stories about some of the athletes he has met. He shares insights into the training involved and highlights how anyone can participate in this life-changing event. But before we talk to Mike, please take a moment to rate and review this podcast. Scroll down, give us 5 stars, and write a short review about why you enjoy this show. As a 100% volunteer-based organization, these reviews are invaluable in helping our podcast grow. Now, please welcome Mike Beezley to Truman Charities. Mike, thank you so much for coming on today.
It's my pleasure. Glad to be here.
So, when Jerry told me about what you were doing, I was really excited because I had never actually heard about this particular event. So May 16th to 18th, right? You are riding the Face of America Cycling Challenge to Gettysburg, benefiting the nonprofit World T.E.A.M. And so you had mentioned this is your 7th year doing it, correct? Or is it your 6th?
That is correct. I've been in the DMV area since 2016. And so this is year number 7 for me.
Wow. And within those 6 years, you've raised $100,000, which is incredible.
Pretty good for a guy that's from Vegas to come out here and be able to reach out to so many people. But it's such a worthy cause. It makes it kind of easy in the reality of the overall scheme. So to meet all these new relationships and build and get money and raise from there, it's been very successful.
I want to know why you are so connected to this particular organization. But before we get into that, tell me a little bit about the Face of America Cycling Challenge and about the World T.E.A.M.
So the World T.E.A.M is, the ones that organize the entire race, Face of America. And, I kind of walked into it. I've always been a cyclist, at least for the last 25 years. And when I first came out here, I used to work on the board for MS in Vegas. And when I came out here, I wanted to find something that was worthwhile, which I thought was a phenomenal charity to be able to be part of. And this is the one I really fumbled across, basically. I'm being new in town. I didn't know many people. This one girl that I met at a cycling class, she said, "Hey, I got this ride." I says, "I'm up. Let's do it." And during this ride, I've never been part of anything that gives you that much passion and that much energy with what we're doing and what the true reason is. I mean, people do stuff for charity, but this is a charity that really is passionate for me. So, I fumbled into this ride and I hook up with a team called Team Dell. And there became really the power behind the ride. And I say power not only in just raising money, but power in regards to helping these adaptive athletes get up these different hills. So it's an incredible event. The stories you hear, and hopefully we can expand upon that. The stories that I hear each and every time make me keep coming back.
So tell me a little bit. You just mentioned, tell me a little bit about a couple of those stories.
Well, I think one that I usually lead with is one that happened probably about 3 years ago. When these adaptive athletes get on these chairs, and they're all different rhymes and reasons of how they may have got injured either in war or in service. This one girl, and they're so low to the ground, and when you start going downhill, we're flying. They're going about 40 miles an hour. With them being so low to the ground, they have a tendency to take a turn. They're going to flip over. Well, here's the thing. All these service people are so, competitors that this one girl, when we told her, "You're going too fast around the corners." Sure enough, and it becomes kind of, heartfelt for me because it's really a cool story. She slides into the bushes about 20 yards. We go back, pick her up. She scraped up from her arms down to her ankle. we put her back in her chair. We said, we'll get the SAG vehicle, come get you. We only got about 6 miles left in the first day, which is about 65 miles. She looked at my buddy. She says, I got hit by a bomb in Afghanistan. You think I'm going to stop? It's pretty cool.
Oh my gosh. And
She fell in, bleeding, and yada, yada. And it was that's one of my lead stories. And it's one of those cool things. And every one of them become emotional because these guys did stuff that I'd never done. I never served. I never was part of the service industry out here, the cops, the firemen, and everything else. So it's pretty cool for me to be a part of this stuff.
I did like how when I was reading about how some of the funds that are raised are used, and that is helping the organization provide like travel grants and lodging, meals, and equipment for those athletes, adaptive athletes from all over the country and sometimes overseas to come and be able to participate within this race.
So that's true. And so there's a couple guys, and I forget their names off the top, but they come in from, I want to say from Germany, and they're low to the ground, and they come in and it's a ride, not a race. But these guys and keep in mind, when we're doing this ride, we're the power behind them. And so when we get to these hills, then these two guys they're both, every single year, they think they're racing against each other, but we're doing pushing, at least up the hills. And it's like, they're looking at it just like, can't we go any faster? And so we're giving everything we got. And some of the pictures I may have sent over to you might have looked at that. Some of the horsepower to get up these hills it takes not just one guy, maybe two guys, sometimes as many as 6. We do almost 6,000 feet of elevation gain in the 2-day period from Crystal City to Gettysburg.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you a little bit about where the course begins and what is that 2-day ride like?
So day 2's a little bit more hilly. We stay up in Fredericksburg, and so we're up there for the night. And it's about 7 hours of pedaling the first day, and about 5.5 the second day. Now it's a ride, not a race. So the main thing when you have a ride of this caliber, we have police in the front, police in the back. So we keep all the riders together. Now they have a good crew of marshals that kind of run by John Bordeaux. He is the main guy that runs Face of America. And we basically keep everyone together so it extends it out where you could actually ride a 65-mile ride, and probably for the really good riders, maybe in 4 hours, maybe 3.5. But when we do it, it's about 7 hours of pedaling time. So we're keeping people together. We're taking turns pushing these people up these hills. Some of the hills have such an incline that the people stop on the side of the road to maybe hand pedal. And the reason they do this is because if we're going up one of these hills, they're back heavy. So if they go back up those hills and we ran out of gas, then that baby's going backwards and it's flipping over. And so it's fun, it's entertaining, it's enjoyable, but at the end of the day, people can still get hurt.
Okay, so then it's 110-mile total throughout the 2 days. And so how is that broken up again within the first and second day?
So I want to say it's 65 the first day, and so another 50, 51 in the next day, or 64, 51, something of that nature. So, and we take a lot of the back roads, so we're going through the country, and if you catch good weather, we have the luxury this year, it's a month later than it was last year. In April last year, we caught some rain and some pretty bad thunderstorms, and that's not fun to ride in. So then they pull us all to the side. We get together and you can go through some of the mist and some of the rain, but you can't go, those tires are about a 3/4 of an inch wide. So not the safest thing out there. So they'll pull us off the road. So they take great precautions.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the training for you guys for this 2-day race.
Well, that's a great question. Great question, because usually it's most people train 3 to 5 months. I've been unfortunate kind of fortunate in a way that I've been busy, but I also just recently had back surgery. And the passion of this ride for me is I probably needed back surgery 3 years ago, but I pushed my back surgery back so I could be able to do it each and every year. So we did it April of last year. I knew if I did it in October, I wouldn't miss a lot of training time because of the weather. And so I kind of set it up where now I got 5 weeks to probably get in about 500 to 600 miles of training. And then I'll be good to go. And then I got to also do my fundraising. A lot done in the next 5 to 6 week period.
Yeah, you're going to be busy. So tell me a little bit about how many people participate on average in the Face of America challenge.
So anywhere from 250 to 400, about 80 to 85 adaptive athletes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering what the ratio is.
A huge amount of people to help. I mean, you're not just pushing one, you're going back and pushing two, and and waiting for them, but then you get to hear their stories, and the stories are phenomenal. And meeting other riders on the ride, because it's at a tempo where you're still only going 15, 17 miles an hour. You can still have conversation. So it's really kind of good to know what other people do and why it's important for them. I have one story. In fact, I'm going to just kind of read off what he told me, because he told me the other night at one of the ball games, and I said, man, I got to tell this story. His name is Rainer Fouch, and he's been doing it for almost 19 years. So he first heard about it in 2007 as a young Marine stationed in Camp David and on President George Bush's mountain bike security detail. This first ride was incredible, and I could see the important mission of FOA through the adaptive athletes participating in the ride that year, many of whom were combat veterans recovering from severe service-related injuries. Right around the time of my second ride in 2008, one of my former teammates on Bush's security detail was severely injured while deployed to Flalu. Maybe I butchered that. Sergeant Stephen Kierneman, struck by an IED on patrol and lost both legs. 1 year later, Steve rode the Face of America as a major milestone in his recovery journey. With several members of our platoon alongside, Steve showed me that what happens to you in life doesn't define who you are and what you're capable of. And then he also, gives a video. I get emotional when I tell these stories because they're true. And these are people that, that just really had life kind of taken away, right? He loses both legs. And a year later, he's out there riding. Come on.
Wow, that's incredible. What do you think throughout the 6 years that you have participated in this? What do you think your most memorable moment has been?
Well, I think the first part of it, and I've done a lot of big rides, the MS 150s, the 101 day 50 the next day.
Oh, wow.
That was hard, but this seems to be more difficult. So I think that the memories for me is, I think my first time that I rolled into Gettysburg, it was, so along the ride, once, especially on the second day, there's people out there cheering for us. Cool. Flags everywhere. Super cool. You become a true American. We roll into Gettysburg. I feel like a war hero. Pushing these people clapping, singing. It's unbelievable.
So you guys finish at, where is that? In Frederick this year, correct? The Maryland, Saturday's finish in Frederick, Maryland by the Frederick Fairgrounds. Tell me a little bit about what that's like. You guys have like a big celebration afterwards.
Yeah, we go to the bar. The boss sit on those chairs are kind of small. So by the time we go have a drink and dinner, it's 8:00 and we're going to sleep because we're getting up and rolling at 6:30. So there's not really much excitement except for you're hanging out with people that you really build a bond with. The team that I ride with, Team T.E.A.M. They call us Team Pink because we always have the pink jerseys. But it's also the team that they know that's always helping the riders. And to me, that's also maybe one of the top things. That's why I joined. I got a chance to meet these guys and some really good riders. I mean, you got Brett Rice, one of my good buddies, Brian Mitchell. Here's another great story. I'll kind of defer back. Brian Mitchell, former Redskin, former Eagle, also does a B. Mitch and JP show daily on 106.7. I said, B, you got to come do this ride because he's a cyclist. We rode before together. I said, if you do this ride, you will come back every single year. Well, I think he's been doing it for 5 years. Now, he does have something coming up this year. He can't do it. But him and I have always asked, because we're both competitors, we're always in the top 3 to 5 when it comes to fundraising. He does it every year. His father served. My father served. Neither one of us did. My father wasn't going to let me serve. I brought him up B. He's probably playing football. So he had a great college career, had a great pro career. He's got the second most all-purpose yards in football, just behind a guy named Jerry Rice. So his credentials are pretty solid. And his reach when it comes to getting donations too is probably a little bit bigger than mine, from a non-local guy to a guy that played in the NFL. And the number one guy, which is Colonel Gadsden, is another, basically the face of the ride, and just a motivational speaker, and a same kind of story, right? He got hit with an IED in Afghanistan and lost his legs. His team put him back together, and just to hear the story and the way that he still goes on with life and is such a strong person, it's to me super cool just to be part of that, trio. And we've been the top three the last 3 years in a row. I haven't done anything, and I'll still think I'll be the top three because I'll really put an effort into reaching out to the people to let them know that this is something that is unique. And if you're a true American, I think you want to be part of it.
Yeah. So if somebody was interested in participating in the Face of America challenge and they don't know anybody, so would they be able to do this as an individual, or would they place them on a team themselves?
So yes, you could do it as an individual. You can join a team once you're there if you want. It's not a necessity. We take pride because we want our team to raise the most money. And it's tough. It's tough to beat us when you got the 2 and 3, rankings every time. I think I did 25 last year. B did like 28,000. And then Colonel Gadsden, he's got so much reach. When you're a motivational speaker, he's got a little bit of better chance than I do. So, the nicest guy in the world. Absolute nicest guy. You just join Face of America bikeride.org. You can go on that website right there and then just sign up for it. And I'm telling you, you'll come back each and every year.
So throughout the past 6 years that you've been involved, what do you think that you've seen has been the youngest participant and the oldest participant?
So we had one of the kids for one of the guys on our team, I think was 14 years old. So I think 14 is young. Yeah, strong athlete, good athlete. So I'd say 14. There might have been younger. There's another guy, and again, it's another story because, I'd asked Raynard, I said, man, your stories, he's been around so long, right? It's always nice to learn why other people do the same thing that you're passionate about. And like the story that, once again, it becomes emotional to me, but, I'm kind of a weak man at some point. He was talking to me about probably the oldest rider. He's known as Mr. Lou, retired U.S. Navy Captain Lou Meyer, rode the Face of America ride for more than 10 years on a tandem bike with a pair of combat boots in the navigator seat, signifying those who didn't come back. As a Hall of Fame member of the World Ultra Cycling Association, Lou Meyer holds several records in cross-country cycling. He sent me a picture. Lou was 83 during the ride. So, yes. So it's, so probably 83 is going to be my number I'm going to go with. I like setting odds. I'm going to say that's the favorite of the age.
Oh my gosh, I love that story. So I was reading that you guys on your 2-day trip, you go through historic civil ground battlefields of Gettysburg, and from the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia. You have so many different sites that you see. What do you think your favorite part of your ride is?
I mentioned the part rolling into Gettysburg, but I think going through those, the sites where the battles were fought and everything like that, it's breathtaking, needless to say. And it's, you go through, there's a lot of tour buses that go through there and through the hills, and just imagining, and the cannons, you'll pass the cannons that were set up. Just imagining what happened, 160 years ago. And what they had to go through, and just that visual and the vision. And that, to me, is probably the most unique thing about the ride. I mean, we go through a lot of beautiful countryside. There's another stop where they raise the flag with a crane, and everyone sings, God Bless America. So,
oh my gosh, I'd be so emotional. What a really interesting way to see those type of different historical places within the United States, going on this bike ride with these individuals that have, been of service to our country. How do you feel about that when you're biking?
Well, and it kind of goes back to, once again, when you get a chance to talk to these folks and what they went through, and just not even the people that have been injured, just what other people do and why they do it. That's kind of the rhyme and reason, I think, for everyone. This is one ride that they do. There's other ones throughout the U.S. that happen on, and I've always wanted to kind of take part of that just to meet new people and see what their story is and why they do it. And I think there's one in Arizona that if I can ever figure out the timing on it, but I know Arizona is beautiful. Being from Vegas, I love the desert landscape. So it's just beautiful out there, and there's more elevation gain than what you think in Nevada and Arizona. So beautiful rides out there.
Okay, so if you met someone who wasn't an avid cyclist and is more of a beginner, do you think this is something that they could participate in?
But the beauty of this ride, you don't have to be that athletic. I mean, one of my coworkers here, I let her borrow one of my bikes. She went out and did the second day because she had to work the day before. She did it with no problem. Now she's a little bit more athletic and she was, had some cardio in her. But for the most part, there's people on this ride I'm thinking, no way they're riding a bike. And they get up and do it. And I don't know how they do it, but they're getting through it. It might slow us down a little bit, but who cares? They're doing it for the right reason. And so I'd suggest to anyone, even if they have SAG vehicles, if you get done, you're done, right? Just like running. If you're a runner, I'm sure there's different, if you do like some of the longer, like marathons or something, there's someone, if you want to quit, you quit. Someone will pick you up and take you to the finish line. So it's the same thing with this. So I suggest it to everyone because once you get a taste of it, when I did my first MS ride back in Vegas, I just got into cycling. My buddy said I didn't have clip-ins. My bike was trash. And, the bikes really mean a lot. I mean, I got high caliber bikes now to make it easier on me. I said, well, I'll ride the first 20 miles for the first, because for the MS, it's 100 the first day and then it's 50 the next day. I said, I'll ride 20 to 30 miles. I'll call it a day and I'll be real happy. End up riding the whole thing. You push your way through it because, you got people to talk with. And I think that ride did 400 or 500 people.
Wow.
I've been in rides that have done 10,000 people, which is just really cool.
I do think that everybody should look on their website because this organization has been doing different athletic challenges for the past over 25 years. And they have some really incredible stories and photos and videos for people to watch. So how can people help your team, help you, and help raising money for these athletes?
Yeah, so, I'm going to give you I'll give you a barcode, also give you a website to reach out to. And whatever you can do, every dollar helps. I mean, it really does. It goes a long ways. And I only want people that want to donate that really believe it's a great cause. I don't want people to say, well, I'm just doing it to do it. Because to me, it's the passion behind the ride. I raise every dollar. Everyone that I talk to, I say, I'm doing this for this. Do you believe in this cause? And they all do. And so that's good money for me. I always want the good money. I don't want people to feel like, well, I owe you owe me a favor or something like that. I just want people to do what they think's right for what I love being in, the United States. So I love being an American.
I'm surprised because Jared and I are so involved in the nonprofit world that I hadn't heard about this. It really sounds like such an amazing organization and bringing all of these people together. And your stories are incredible, the stories that you've told. And we'll make sure to have the link to support your team and their fundraising efforts in the show notes for everyone. So don't miss that. Just scroll down. And then, so Mike, before I let you go, is there anything that we haven't covered that you think someone should know?
Yeah. So if I'm telling someone to really, if you want to be part of something, if you're new into the community, this is probably one of the best ways that you can really reach out, meet new people without having to go to the bar and going to the nightclub. This is a great way to meet people that are good people that are proud to be a part of the United States, part to be an American. So to me, join it. You'll enjoy it. So that's my best advice, I guess.
Congratulations on raising $100,000 in the past 6 years. And I'm really excited to see how your ride goes this year. So it's going to be 2 days of some really cool stuff that you're going to do and see. And I want to see the photos. We'll have some of the photos up on Sherman Charities on all of our social media so everybody can take a chance to look at exactly what it's like to be there. And so you can really get the full picture. So I want to thank everybody again for tuning in to the Truman Charities podcast. And Mike, I want to thank you as well. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you as well. I appreciate it. And so does Face of America, my teammates, everyone that I work and ride with, and it's truly work that we love to do. So thanks so much for letting us be part of it.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I really loved that interview with Mike. And now I'm not a cyclist, but this is making me want to be a cyclist. And when my kids get older, this would be something that would be really incredible for the family to do together. So I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I know I asked before, but please support our podcast by scrolling down, hitting those 5 stars, and writing a short review on why you enjoy listening to the Truman Charities podcast. If you would like to follow us, you can follow us on Instagram at Jamie_Truman Charities. You can follow us on Facebook at Truman Charities, and you can follow me on Instagram at Jamie Truman. And go to TrumanCharities.com, sign up for our newsletter so you are aware of our upcoming events. We have 3 major events per year. Our upcoming event right now is the Derby Party, May 3rd. And we also have our Bethesda's Best Happy Hours 2 several times each year. So you don't want to miss any of our events. So make sure to sign up for our newsletter. So thanks again for tuning in to another episode of the Truman Charities podcast. Until next time.